Alright, everybody. So it's been a while since I've made a video. Not too long, though. Um, I want to try to make as many more videos this year as possible. Um, but I just wanted to make this video because it's going to be the um, introduction to one of my biggest projects this year. And I'm so excited. So, as you all know, uh, back in December, I uh, conducted the Divine Comedy um, by Robert W. Smith, the American composer and conductor. Um, and that's, for being a 25-minute symphony, it's impressive that it was his first one. But in this project, I'm going to be conducting his third symphony. Um, uh, the story of uh, Don Quixote, and this is another 25-minute, roughly, um, symphonic work for concert band that I've been practicing for the past few months now. Um, and I feel confident enough where I can conduct it in full. And more recently, I read this story, or at least the summary of it. Not the whole story, but just part of it, to where I have enough information to give about each of the four movements and their meanings and what um, how it all comes together. So, Don Quixote, known for being one of the greatest stories of all time, and often considered one of the first modern novels, Don Quixote is a Spanish epic novel written by um, Miguel de Cervantes. Uh, it tells a story about a hidalgo named Alonso Quijano who comes from La Mancha. He gets an idea to go on an adventure to revive chivalry and serve his nation. So that's going to be the first movement. The quest, which I conducted on a separate video just to give you guys a little hint to my project. But that's the first movement. He sets off on this huge quest, and he wants to serve his nation. That's what he wants. Under the name of Don Quixote de la Mancha. He brings along with him on his quest his good friend Sancho Panza, who adds humor to the seriousness of the story. And Sancho serves as Don Quixote's squire. And he adds comments of wit, humor, and Spanish proverbs. And so this is going to be the third movement, is where he's He's going to come in. Um, Let me see if I can find it. Um, and so, along with this third movement, um, for some comedy relief, um, Don Quixote attacks windmills, thinking they're evil giant beasts of some sort. Um, and so this movement is going to be called Sancho and the Windmills. Um, so on their adventure, they arrive into El Toboso to meet uh, um, Dulcinea del Toboso, who is argued in the story to be the most beautiful woman in the world. So this is going to be movement 2, Dulcinea, and it's this beautiful, like, it's got a sort of like fiery, slow rhythm that just keeps going throughout, as if they're dancing together or something. But that's movement 2. So finding out that Dulcinea is under a spell, Don Quixote and Sancho must find a way to break it. And how do they do it? Sancho must give himself 3,300 lashes. He's reluctant, but he eventually does it, and he gains his promised governorship, although it is false. And I'm assuming this is another one of the comedic parts of the story, because that's what Sancho is supposed to do. He's supposed to provide comedy, although the story is very serious. In the end, Don Quixote retires to bed and wakes up from a dream. At this point, Don Quixote is no longer. He's been reverted back to Alonso Quijano, apologizing for everything that he did. And so he writes his will and dictates it. It includes a warning that if his niece marries a man who reads books of chivalry, she will be removed from his will, not able to inherit anything. Alonso dies from his fatal illness that he contracted, and that ends the story. And so that's going to be movement 4, the illumination. And it tells that even though in death, at the end of life, there's a beautiful light that shines, and that's I think of all the movements, that one has to be my favorite. And it's one of the most beautiful pieces I've ever heard. So this story, which is very famous, happens to be one of the most translated. And of course, one of these translated versions is this 4-movement piece. And as I said, the quest, Dulcinea, Sancho and the Windmills, and the Illumination. But I really hope you all enjoy this piece, this this four movement work. I've been practicing it for a long time now, and you know what? I think it's in many ways it it's got these meanings that are just so special, um, and it describes life. You know, you go on a quest, you find love. Um, there's a lot of comedic moments that happen in life, and then eventually, you know, life ends. That's how it is. Um, so the story of Don Quixote, um, it's it's interesting. So I really hope you all enjoy. So this will be my introduction to Symphony Number 3, Don Quixote. I hope you all enjoy it.